Hey guys, if you want to pause this video and write these inverse trig function derivative formulas down, please do so. There will be copies found in your Google Drive folder for your class. I also try to be mindful to pass these out in class. Okay, so we've got our formulas. I'm going to scroll down. This will also be included on the sheet that you get in class, or if you happen to take this online, that you'll see in your Google Drive folder. The main thing to pay attention to, in addition to your formulas, is the part back here in parentheses. So we're going to take the derivative of arc sine of 2x. Using your formula above, or the ones that you have a copy of, this is considered a U substitution. In your formula, that value goes exactly here and it gets squared. 1 minus whatever's here, quantity squared. The derivative of 2x is 2, and that becomes your numerator. 2x times another 2x is 4x squared, so your derivative simplifies 2 over square root of 1 minus 4x squared. Again, the substitution, or this part, was 2x. Part B, we have the derivative of arctangent 3x. Look at the formula for derivative of arctangent. You'll see a u value here. That goes here. It's also quantity squared. Derivative of 3x is 3. 3x times itself is 9x squared, for a final derivative of 3 over 1 plus 9x squared. 3 over 1 plus 9x squared. Sorry, y'all, still don't feel good, so I'm trying to struggle through here. Part C, we have square root of x. You can also think of that as x to the half power. With arc sine, we have derivative goes in the top. That's 1/2 x to the negative half over the square root of 1 minus. This little x here is where they square square root of x. Squaring a square root of x will just produce an x. Next step over here, they take this x term, which has a negative power, and they put it back in the bottom and re-square root it. So when you move it down, it becomes x to the positive half in radical form at square root of x. This 2 that's part of the 1/2, they drop it to the denominator. And then for the final stage, what they're doing is they're distributing this x underneath the radical. A product of radicals is the product under the radical. So it's basically square root of x minus x squared. Finally, part D, we have the derivative of arcsecant of e to the 2x. The derivative of e to the 2x is e to the 2x times 2. This should actually be a 2. That's an error from the e-text. So our derivative is 2e to the 2x over, then you have the absolute value of u, which is should be absolute value of e to the 2x. Now the reason it's not is exponential functions with a positive power are never negative. They're actually not zero either. So that's why they left off the absolute value. If your term inside is never negative, you don't have to put an absolute value. Under the radical, we have square root of u, which was e to the 2x squared minus 1. Notice that's an opposite subtraction of arc sine. Arc sine, the algebraic term, is subtracted. In arcsecant, the 1 is subtracted. E to the 2x times itself is e to the 4x. These e to the 2x's will cancel, and leaving that 2 on top. Let's look at some examples we did together in class. I think we can do 2 at a time. It won't won't be too distracting. There we go. First one, we have the function arc sine of x minus 3. So let's note that in the formula at your top right, I went ahead and wrote those for convenience. U is x minus 3. Its derivative, u prime, is 1. Sometimes you'll see a du in the formulas. That's the same as a u prime. It just means derivative of u. The derivative of x minus 3 is 1. And under the radical, we do 1 minus u squared. In class, I told you that you could leave it in that squared format, and that's true. You can also FOIL that out and subtract all your terms from 1 if you want to. Just don't make a silly algebra mistake. I would rather see a correct expansion just using the formula, and use your own comfort level to decide how far you want to reduce or simplify. The bottom example, we have 3 arc cosine of x over 7. That 3 that's in front is this 3. It's 3 times. Now, arc cosine x over 7, its derivative, let's look at the orange formula. Where this u is, that's our x over 7. Part of the formula is a negative sign. The derivative of 1/7 x is just 1/7. So we have a negative 1/7 for the u prime part. That's because the formula has a negative built in, over square root of 1 minus x over 7 quantity squared. X over 7, 1/7 x. You can write it either way. In fact, when I consolidated all this, I left my negative 3 on top, moved the 7 to the bottom, and I just wrote it as 1 minus x over 7 quantity squared. Let's see, I want to show all of it. There we go. Hopefully you can see all that on your screen. Consider the following function, point and graph. We have the arctan of 1/4 x. That's this blue graph. Tangent comes with a couple of horizontal asymptotes at positive and negative pi over 2. At those two angles, tangent's undefined because they're vertical angles. We also have the point 4 and pi over 4. Let's take the derivative. Let's remember for arctangent, it's u prime over 1 plus u squared. The derivative of 1/4 x is 1/4. 1 plus 1/4 x quantity squared. At the point 4 pi over 4 on your graph, it's marked over here. Substitute 4 in for x. That'll be 1/4 over 1 plus 4 over 4 squared. Well, that's 1 squared plus 1 is 2. 1/4 divided by 2 is 1/8. That's the slope of your tangent line. Now, to get the equation of the tangent line, we grab the point they gave us. At the point 4 pi over 4, with a slope of 1/8, remember our linear formula is y equals mx plus b. So we have our y equals mx plus b. 1/8 times 4 is a half. Because pi over 4 is an irrational number, when we subtract a half, there's no way that's going to come out to an exact integer, and that's okay. If you were to put this into your calculator, you get approximately 0.285. That helps you eyeball where the y-intercept of that tangent line is going to hit. But for exact values, just leave those two. That's your y-intercept. And if you look at the bottom of your screen, we have y equals mx. Again, slope is m, 1/8 x. And then both of those together are your y-intercept.